Hi, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your messages for the 23rd to the end of the month. We're just going to be doing the week. Lots to talk about. So before we get into that, I just wanted to address a couple of things. First, I did make a community post the other day about someone claiming to somehow be associated with me to lure people to a site where people were booking readings. And that is not me. That wasn't me. I don't have WhatsApp. They were giving some sort of WhatsApp number. I'm not on social media at all. I got off completely in 2015 and I have not been on since. You might run my name and see stuff, but there's no content, particularly regarding my channel. So that's first of all. Okay, so if you see anything like that, ignore it. It's not me. It's a scam. And as I indicated in my community posts, 10 of my subscribers who let me know, there might even be more than that, I don't know, ended up having an issue with this person. So anyway, so that's number one. Number two, I have 3 specials that I'm running this month. I'm so sorry that I didn't run a special in October, but the first one is going to be for a birth chart analysis report with no video. So that would be when you book it, the date that you book it for, that's the date to be delivered by, and I would send it to you in an email. And that works for some people. They don't want the video and they don't want all the other stuff. The second option is the same thing, the birth report, but with a video. And that's where you'll see I pull up your chart, even though it's a pre-recorded kind of thing. I discuss other additional information regarding your report. And just a note about my birth chart reports, they typically run at about 50 pages, very in depth. And I do cover nodal axis and Chiron and Black Moon Lilith and all of that. And then finally, if you don't know your birth time, but you want to take advantage of one of the specials, you can try the tarot only mixed bag read. And that is an hour long, and they're all 20% off for each of those 3. So you'll find the 20% off coupon code in the description box below. Just make sure you pick the correct discount code for each of the applicable readings. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into things. So I have your little, I have your wheel here that I made notes on before starting the video. So let's talk about your astrology real quick, and I'm going to timestamp below, and then we're going to get into the cards. So what is happening this week? Let's see. So we have on the 23rd, the sun is entering Scorpio till November 21st, and Cancer for you, that's happening in your 5th house. So remember, whenever the sun transits, whatever house the sun hangs in for that month, there's a lot of focus in there, right? So for you, you have the sun in Scorpio. We're going to talk about what Scorpio is. In that 5th house of love affairs, falling in love, romance, children, the house of fun, what you do because you love to do it. It's also the house of entrepreneurial activities, anything creative at all. So, that's on the 5th. Now let's talk about what Scorpio season means, okay? Especially having it in any of like the relationship type of houses. Scorpio is very passionate. Scorpio does rule sex. It rules endings and beginnings and transformation and the past and karma. And remember, its modern ruler is Pluto. Its original ruler was Mars. So, we reference, and if those of you who've been listening to me say, I refer to Pluto all the time as the ruler of Scorpio, but I just think it's interesting that traditionally Mars was the ruler, and Mars and Pluto are squaring off. Mars in Libra Mars is going into Scorpio on the 30th, but before that, for the first part of the week, Mars is going to be still in Libra. And Pluto is still in Capricorn. So that Mars in Libra in your 4th house is going to be squaring that 7th house Pluto energy. So there's going to be a lot of energy going on between your 4th house of home, or your ability to feel grounded and rooted, and that 7th house of relationships. There's going to be tension there. But now there's going to be a lot of focus at the same time in that 5th house energy. Scorpio in the 5th is about falling in love, love affairs, romance, 5th house energy. And because Scorpio rules also how we show up as a we in relationship, right? So for a lot of you, you're going to be looking very front and center at how equitable our finance is dealt with in relationship, communication, intimacy. carrying the workload. How is all of that handled? How, and there's going to be this call to fairness for you, like not the kind that you felt during Libra season, where Libra, because Libra's the scales, is very like, okay, well, we have to do things kind of balanced. We have to see, what's right, what's not right. By the time the sun gets into Scorpio, it's like, that's not fair. And we need to address this right now. So for a lot of you, this can have to do with a situation going on with your kids, a creative project, some sort of entrepreneurial endeavor, and of course, relationship, where there's going to be this big focus where, something needs to be transformed, because Scorpio is all about transformation. Okay, so that's happening on the 23rd. Now, up until the 30th, okay, having to do with this week, we have this square going on again between Mars and Pluto. So this is happening again in between your 4th and your 7th house. So there could be, 4th house having to do with a place that you live now, the idea of home, buying a home, selling a home, the people that you live with in your home, all of that. There's going to be some sort of tension between that and your relationship. And now with the inflection of this 5th house about fair, not fair kind of thing, there's going to be this sort of, well, you said you'd pay for that, and you said that you would do that, and you promised this, and why is there no follow through? Why is there more lip service than action? Why, and that it can definitely create a lot of, I'm going to just say discordant energy, because it's something that needs to be looked at though, right? Whatever's coming up needs to be looked at. Now we do have that this Mercury energy is in your 4th house, and it is going to be sextiling Venus in the 6th house. And why I like that is because no matter what we're dealing with here, your communication is going to be pretty good. You're going to be able to work out, that's Venus being in your 6th house. The 6th house has to do with your mental, physical, and emotional health, how you feel about something. Also, it rules your day-to-day work environment. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be very effectively communicative regarding work, any sort of work situation going on, very effectively communicative having to do with your day-to-day, having to do with anyone in your life, quite frankly. I mean, that's the 6th house. It's like you wake up in the morning, you put your feet on the floor, and you go brush your teeth. It's not only your work environment. We say that because our work environment day to day is part of our day to day, who we work with and for, where we work, but it's also our health, mental, physical, emotional. It's also our pets, right? So I really like that sextile. Venus is also going to be, Venus is going to be sextiling Jupiter in your 8th house. Now, this is where I think it's going to be very helpful for you for the first part of what I was talking about. Venus in that 6th house, okay, is all about things being equitable in your day-to-day, things being fair in your day-to-day. And it's going to be in a beautiful alignment with Jupiter, which is all about expansion and living in your truth, in the 8th house of where you show up as a we in relationship, and things that are cyclical, and things that are dealing with your partner's money, things dealing with your business partner's money, things dealing with a lawsuit and the result of a lawsuit. The 8th house is where the monetary tag is placed on it. It's negotiated in the 9th house. That monetary tag is labeled how much you're going to get. That's the 8th house. So in the 6th house starts lawsuits. So we have this idea of the lawsuit energy speaking to each other in your chart is very nicely aspected right now for those of you in that space where you're dealing with any sort of lawsuit, insurance payout, inheritance situation, anything like that, even though you may be feeling like there's tension. Even though. Now Mars is going to be moving into the 5th house for you on the 30th. So in that space of joy, children, falling in love, love affairs, all of that, Mars is going to be there. You're going to be very, very assertive in making yourself happy and in Some of you, if you're not coupled, you're going to be very assertive to put yourself out there to meet people. I mean, you remember, assertive is not the same as aggressive. Assertive is that you're going to keep your eye on the prize and you're going to go after something in a very healthy way, right? Remember, Mars really is about our highest good, and Mars really does want us to go after what we want. Beautiful energy for those of you who are creative, who if you're thinking about writing a book or going back to something that maybe you started at one point. It's a really good energy for you there, I feel like. So the only thing, little snafu-y thing here, is that Venus in the 6th is going to be squaring Neptune in the 9th. So you might be feeling very confused and challenged by if what you're doing in your life right now is in alignment with your belief system. That this could definitely just be on a basic mundane level. Is what I'm doing in alignment with my belief system? That's going to resonate with some of you. Others of you on a little more, hardcore, mundane interpretation. That 6th house being your day-to-day work environment, and that 9th house being the house of negotiation, advertising, marketing, launching something, getting something out there, publishing. It also has to do with laws and regulations. It has to do with higher ed. It has to do with importing and exporting. So just a little something to keep in mind, that the energy at the end of the month, there's going to be the square there. Now with Neptune in that 9th house in Pisces, it's a very smoke and mirror energy. How do you feel? I'm really not sure. What do you believe in? I'm not sure. I'm still gathering my thoughts. It's that kind of thing. And it's also, though, where we start to realize where we keep ourselves small, where we allow situations to maybe take advantage of us. Because that Neptune energy it could be very martyrdom, very victimizing, a victimized type of sensibility rather, but very sacrificial energy as well. You say the word martyr, it's like, woe is me, woe is me. It's not that kind of thing. It's more about you recognizing that what it is that you really want, your moral code, your personal philosophy for your life may not be in alignment with what you're doing in your day-to-day. And it could be because things are not rolling out, whether it comes to some sort of project you're trying to roll out, something that you're trying to get out there, right? As far as moving your life forward with integrity. You might be realizing, like, if A, B, and C is not really working out for me in the way that I really want. And the squares are keep in mind, they're very, very important. Because if squares weren't there, then we wouldn't have the tension that we need to create change. So I do see a lot of you making some sort of change in how you're approaching something, but completely reflective of your belief system. Now, I just want to say a quick note for those Cancers who are involved in higher education. You might be in this space where it's like, you really want to push something forward in higher education, but you feel like there's some sort of tension, some sort of trepidation. Is this the right thing for me? Am I getting the help that I need? Why do I feel like I'm putting in 100% and I'm only getting back 80% for the effort that I'm putting in? Those of you who are very involved in your higher ed community, you might be experiencing situations where you feel like you're putting a lot of work into stuff and you're not getting the help that you need, where you feel like in a way you're needing to like martyr yourself for the sake of a situation. So if you're feeling that, just know that it is the energy right now and it is going to pass. Okay. It's definitely going to end up passing for you. Yeah. And then Venus will then by next month will be sextiling that energy. Okay, so it'll be a lot easier for you. All right, so that being said, let us go into the cards. Let me drop this down. All righty, what do I want to use first? Okay, so I'm going to do a basic Celtic cross spread. This is going to be for all areas of life. Yes. You might resonate with it as relationship, single, work, money, any kind of money situation. family. Wow, okay. We're having a hard time figuring something out right now, Cancer. Okay. Okay. We have the death and rebirth card. So some of you may literally be moving right now. I want to just say that. Some of you just might be moving. Especially, right? I mean, you've had Mars in that fourth house. So yeah, I mean, a lot of you guys could have just moved. Is that the death and rebirth card can indicate a move. If it doesn't have to do with that, if this has to do with relationship, this could indicate right now that you're in the space, because this represents you, where you feel like you need to step away from a relationship at least for a while, because you're feeling like the way things have been up to this point haven't really been very good for you. Good for them, good for the situation, just not feeling very good about it. Doesn't mean you can't get back together later on, because this is an energy of transformation, endings and beginnings. And sometimes the beginnings are back together and sometimes they're not. Depends on what else is going on in your chart and going on in your life, right? For those of you having to do with career, this can indicate a possible ending of some sort of business connection or avenue of money. The thing is, this is not a very bad thing, even though it may sound like a bad thing. It might be tough initially or feel tougher than it actually is, but this energy indicates that there is something new on the horizon for you. So just be patient, right? I mean, it does seem like this is going to end up voting in your favor, so which is good. But what is challenging you right now is the Hermit. So I feel like you're just having a hard time problem solving, right? The Hermit is Virgo, and Virgo is very much a problem solver, sixth house problem solver energy. Also, I mean, you might be having a really hard time feeling very connected and satisfied in your day-to-day experience, right? And I say this because the Hermit being Virgo, right now, Virgo's the landlord of the sixth, and right now you have Venus in your sixth as well as the South Node. So you may be feeling the need to sort of release yourself from something that's going on in your day-to-day experience. If it's not a job, it might be a relationship, but you're having a hard time seeing in front of that. Like, what does that even mean for you? So some of you may be in the space where, if it has to do with the relationship, you're thinking about all the past relationships and all the cycles that you were involved in, and looking at all the mistakes so that you don't repeat them in the future. Or those of you in relationship, this is a time to invest more energy and time to work to smooth over any issues that need addressing. If this has to do with career or money, it's time to step back and really think about what's not working, because you might have to try a different approach or a different path. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're just not sure what that even means. You're just not sure. What does that mean? These are all the things that you have to do, but you're having a hard time doing it. You're having a hard time doing it. In the recent past, we have the King of Pentacles. So, I mean, depending if you're the King of Pentacles or if you're dealing with the King of Pentacles, you're going to know how it resonates with you. The King of Pentacles is a very generous energy, hardworking, right? Somebody who likes to be settled in life, right? They like settled in relationships, settled in a career, settled in things, right? And they'll even want to protect what's theirs, all of that. So much so, though, that this person may not have any patience for anyone looking to take what's his. So this person can be very funny with money, very conditional with how they're willing to change. So again, this could be you, or this could be an energy that you're dealing with, but it's, yeah, no, I'm here 100% with you. I'll do A, B, and C. No problem. Oh, but I'm not going to do that. Or, I'm definitely, in this, I'll pay for this, and this, but I can't pay for that. Where somebody is just could be a little funny with their money, where you may not really even understand it. Right? You may not. And so, but that could certainly be pushing you into a space of, I'm really not sure about this relationship, this business opportunity, whatever it is. Now, some of you in the King of Pentacle energy, and then going into the death and rebirth card, if you were really smart with your money and then you were able to move, but you're in this space of realizing that things just don't feel right in your life right now outside of that, and you being in this space where you need to figure it out. So we have the Two of Wands as the basis of the situation, and that's working with the world, which is really, this is an interesting combination. Let's talk about the Two of Wands first. This is a nice energy. It's Mars and Aries. Let me pull this down so you can see. So this is all about making plans and moving forward. This, for many of you, it has to do with partnerships. This does indicate that you're gaining influence in your work regarding your particular approach to something, but there are two aspects to a situation, and you have to figure out which is the right thing for you. So if it has to do with career, for example, which situation is going to best maximize your skill set? If it has to do with a relationship, should I be with this person or that person? Should I be with this person or should I stay single? What should I do? Should I stay? Should I go? I'm really trying to figure this out, right, in the biggest way. Now that's working with the world, and the world is about lesson learned, been there, done that. It really is. It's a very benefic energy. Even though it's Saturn, it does indicate that you've been through a lot in a particular situation. This could be like you've been through it all, having to do with the career. You've been through it all in relationship, maybe both, right? But in numerology, this is the Empress energy, which does indicate growth, right? Because the Empress is the mother of the tarot. So this could indicate fertility, getting married, moving in together, growing a relationship, getting a new job, growing a business, increasing your money. Anything like that is a very, very Venusian energy, but it's because you've learned lessons. And this is the thing. This is why I think it's very pivotal here, though, because in this Two of Wands energy, you're making a decision. It's almost like there's this make or break decision I feel like you have to make, because the world is this lesson that you've learned. So now you're free or able to move on in a really beautiful way to have a happy and fulfilling and loving relationship. If this has to do with career or money, this is you achieving your goal through and your rising status through promotion or some sort of award or something like that, which is amazing, right? But it's the result of you making the right choice here. So I feel like you're like, oh, what should I do? It seems like you have a choice to make. Now, what is the recommended approach? Is you looking at the moon, looking at your ruler, looking at where are you feeling a crisis of faith? Where are you feeling emotionally vulnerable? If this is to do with a relationship, looking at your confusion and disappointment, looking at the fact that you feel let down by this person, that you have a lack of trust that the relationship can actually work. You have to look at all of that and embrace that. At the same time, if this has to do with the career or money situation, you might achieve something, but you're ultimately like, oh, was it even worth it? Was it really worth it? At the end of the day, emotions could be running high with colleagues or your boss, and you might need to protect yourself from other people's negativities. Even if money matters is stable, you want a lot more satisfaction from work than just a paycheck. So you might be in the space of like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And this is the recommended approach that you need to really look at, depending on how it's resonating with you. Now, the energy external to you is a judgment. Somebody's coming up as a judgment energy. So judgment is Pluto energy, right? And this is about assessing and letting go of the past and making a decision about the past and spiritually waking up. So if this has to do with career or money, this could be acknowledgement for your success coming in, your finances getting better. If this has to do with relationship, this is assessing the relationship and shifting it into a new phase. Now, for some of you may be dealing with somebody who wants to reconcile with you, or they at least want to, if there's not going to be a reconciliation, they at least want to reconcile certain circumstances that have gone on with you. Only, and it does seem to me that they do feel the relationship is worthwhile, but you're going to need to do that as well, because you're going to be in the space of figuring out how you feel about something, because you do feel this sense of disappointment and confusion in this crisis of faith. So somebody may want to come in and reconcile, say, hey, let's sit down and have that conversation. I haven't seen you in forever, or whatever the case is. And you sort of being on your guard. And it does seem like you may be justified in doing that, because you may be dealing with this Knight of Swords energy, which is someone who's dishonest and immoral and runs away from responsibility, and someone who oversteps their boundaries, and they can be rather selfish, and you being in this space where you may need your instincts and your wits to figure out the real truth of the situation. But this is the challenge that you have, because you don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to do that. It's like, you know, this truth is existing, Cancer, but it's like somebody doesn't want to hear it, somebody doesn't want to own it, somebody doesn't want to take responsibility for what it is that they're doing in the situation. And you're going to be in this space where it's like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do with that, really? Like, if they're not going to work at this with me, what am I supposed to do about it or with it? Then we have the Page of Cups coming in. So honestly, some of you would just, this is good news about an emotional event in your life, some sort of emotional aspect. So this could have to do with a new relationship. This could indicate for some of you a new cycle within relationship, a new job having to do with money, some sort of new situation within your family. All right, could certainly be that. But whatever new is coming in is going to allow you to build, which is very nice. Because this is a Mars and Capricorn energy, which is an energy of collaboration and coming together, right? And it's success because of that. It's coming together and thinking about in very practical terms, the long-term future, right? Again, it's Mars in Capricorn. So Mars is that warrior energy, very assertive, and it's in Capricorn, in the house of long-term plans, in the house of work, whatever it is. So you guys are coming together to figure something out. So you might have been working with somebody who's very dishonest. Maybe you're feeling very disillusioned about what it is that you're doing as far as work goes. But then it does seem like some sort of new offer comes in. And it's going to go, well, does seem like that. For this has to do with relationship, though. You're kind of vibing. Is somebody being honest with you or not? And they may want this new start with you, or others of you, depending on where you're at. You may be like, bye, you got to go. I'm not the same version of myself. Look at the Page of Cups here. See, the old hymn is whoop, leaving. This is the old hymn. When pigs fly, you changing in ways that you never actually even thought. Having things go in a way that you never actually even thought was going. I'm not going to say that you didn't think possible, but that you didn't think was going to happen to you. Clarifying that Three of Pentacles, we have the King of Wands, we have the Three of Wands, the King of Swords, the Nine of Cups, Two of Cups, 10 of Wands, tired. Oh, look at that. 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. Very good. All right. So we have the King of Wands here. King of Wands, a Cancer and Leo energy. You want to be a free spirit. You want to go in and speak your mind, right? It's definitely time to express your ideas, go after what you want, but you want to make sure, and I always say this with this energy, don't allow the idea of perfectionism to get in your way. You don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect. The situation doesn't have to be perfect to be fabulous. It's true. Clarifying that, we have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is the Sun and Aries energy. So some of you may be doing something very different. First of all, this is a good energy card. It's good fortune, thriving business, very busy, intense period. This is an indicator for either a wedding or a really important relationship. This is moving on to realize your plans in relationship and business, whatever it is. But there's a big but here. You might be dealing with either unconventional people or in an unconventional situation. There's something very unique, something very out of the box about what's going on right now that you're taking part in or part of. Clarifying that is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is really, remember, the swords are truth, right? It's communication. It's the mind, focusing on the mind instead of your heart to take charge of the circumstances. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be in this space where I'm going to speak my mind. I have to look at this unconventional situation and see how I'm feeling about it, right? And figure out, is this what it is? Is this what you want in order to be happy? Are you going to be getting what you need in order to be happy? Right? Nine of Cups is all about really speaking to your heart space there. Trying something new. I do see some sort of different approach. Very good conversation with the Two of Cups, for sure, mutually supportive. It's a mutually supportive relationship, mutually supportive conversation. This is a very positive proposal coming in, and it's going to be great if things have been really difficult. This is about harmony returning, being able to nurture any kind of connection, any kind of relationship, any kind of situation. Not only intimate, even though, you know, it looks like that, but it's not only that. So I really like this. And that explains the 10 of Wands being clarified by the 10 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Wands is an energy of overwhelm. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Absolutely. I'm so tired. I'm overwhelmed. All these responsibilities, all these burdens, overloaded demands, right? And it's like, I want to be able to do A, B, and C, but I don't have time. So it's almost like having that catch-22. I know I need a new job. I know this relationship isn't great for me. I know I need to move. I know, shut up. You know, it's like, I know, but I don't have time. I don't have time. It's a very busy energy. Those of you in relationship, you might even be neglecting your relationship because of other things going on in your life right now. You might not even be very receptive to this reading, in fact, right? I mean, that comes up a lot with the 10 of Wands, but clarifying that is the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is about family. It's about maturity. It's about deepening of commitment, shared values, property, leaving a legacy, sharing. It's all of these beautiful things. So what I see, those of you, particularly in relationship, it's like you guys finding each other again, Cancer. Getting so caught up in the minutia and the weeds of life that you end up finding each other again. Oh, the muck and stuff of life had grew very, very high here. And it just seems like you're able to finally get through it. It does seem like for a lot of you, which is great. And others of you, 10 of Wands, you're very overwhelmed. You're realizing that you're never going to get where you want to go if you stay on this path. You know, you're being really honest with yourself. Because this is a Saturn and Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is your belief system. It's your ability to move forward with integrity. When we have Saturn in there, Saturn's always pulling a harness back. No, not yet. Do it different. So it's this restrictive energy. So it's this restriction from being able to move forward in the way that you really want. So it's embracing that. And it's saying, I have to put these wands down. I can't do this anymore. That's going to end up bringing this 10 of Pentacle energy, which is going to actually be an increase in your money, a deepening of relationship, a deepening of, this is just so great for business, for relationship, for family. It really is. It's like, almost like, you know, putting the BS down, whatever happened. Now we need to change focus. And I feel like the focus is going to be changing. So really nice. I actually like how that rolled out for you. Okay. And now let's pull some cards for those of you in separation, okay? When times got tough, I gave up on you too soon. The thought of you with someone else drives me crazy. I didn't realize I loved you until it was too late. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Letting you down was the worst decision I made. Ooh. So I would certainly say there's an element of remorse here. Somebody realizing something. Pull a couple of tarot. Chariot. Eight of Pentacles. Wow, someone really wants to work this out with you. Holy cow, Cancer. Because somebody just wants to get away from the toxicity. They want to master working on this relationship. They want to come together in the lover's energy and say, we have stuff. We have issues. Yes, we do. But if we could come at this together, the clouds are the issues, This is Archangel Raphael and the luminary of the sun. The luminary of the sun ends up putting all the tools we need in our toolbox to fix how to get rid of the clouds, to figure out how to get rid of them. With the blessing of Archangel Raphael, as long as both people are in this together. And when you get together, you're going to be talking about who needs what in order to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. This is a Gemini and Cancer energy. So there's a need for conversation, right? Gemini is a communication sign. Cancer is all about feeling. What are you guys about? You guys are about feeling safe, secure, right? So this is a very loving energy. This is you. This is wanting to make, oh my goodness, Cancer, somebody who's just literally feeling like they want to make your world a better place. Wow. Wow. That's what I have for those of you in separation. Seems pretty good. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. You guys take care. Bye-bye.